Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a special guest with me. She is my friend and she was our realtor while we were moving across the country, both to Washington and back. And today she picked out a recipe that we are both going to make together. So I would like to introduce my friend Anita.
Hello, everybody.
She picked out a fantastic recipe and she is also from Keller Williams here in Halifax. So we will talk about that later on as we are making everything. So, Anita, what are we making?
Well, we're making a recipe. It's Spanakopita, and it's Greek. And I made this recipe years ago. I took a cooking class when we lived in Vancouver. And I just pulled this out and I said to Natalka, let's give this a shot. And you can make it in a larger pan if you want, a 9x12. But we're going to make it into small ones as appetizers for the Christmas season.
Yeah, which is great because as you guys know, going forward, all my videos until January are all holiday related, which is why I'm wearing my holiday,
I'm wearing my little sparkle.
So today it's going to be an appetizer.
That's correct.
Great for any of your holiday parties, New Year's, whatever you have going on. This is going to be a fun and easy recipe to follow, right? Easy?
Yeah, I think so. We'll see. We have phyllo pastry that we're using the sheets. So you can use that for a lot of different appetizers. So we'll see how it all goes.
So I'm really bad with puff pastry.
Right.
Really bad with it.
You mean making it from scratch?
No, I mean using it.
Okay.
Yeah, using it I'm not so good with.
Okay.
We found that out a couple of videos ago.
Okay.
So we'll see how this turns out.
Okay.
I've never used this at all for anything yet. So this will be interesting.
Okay. I've used it just a little bit. Like sometimes when I make shepherd's pie, instead of doing that, I'll just take the phyllo and I'll put that on.
Okay. I have never considered that.
Mm-hmm.
I do cheese.
You do cheese. Okay.
So, all right. Well, we've got this. And what do we have to do with that?
Well, maybe I think what we should do is what about if we do our mix first?
Okay.
And then we can do that.
Okay.
Because the mix can just sit mixed.
Perfect. Let's do that.
We'll do the mix first.
All right. So where do we start?
Well, first of all, I think we're going to take so it's with spinach, and feta cheese, and eggs.
All right.
So we just bought frozen spinach. You can use fresh spinach if you want, but then you're going to have to boil it and all that. This is a lot less work.
Yes. So I got the chopped spinach just to make it easier.
Mm-hmm.
Already chopped up. It was frozen, so I thawed it out overnight so that it's ready to be used. I have never actually used this. I always use fresh spinach in most of my recipes.
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
This is my
what
first
about
time.
your spinach? Do you make spinach dip?
I do, which is actually, I'm going to be making that for another video.
Well, you don't use frozen? You use fresh?
I use fresh.
Okay.
So I actually bought an extra bag of it to make a spinach dip.
I just made one this weekend.
Ooh.
And I made it out of the frozen.
Ooh, okay. I'm looking forward to trying it. I also bought artichokes for it.
Ooh.
I've never used them either.
No, me either. Okay, I'm getting hungry.
All right. So, what do you want to start with first?
So let's strain it. So we defrosted it, and now I'm just going to go squeeze it. So you want to get as much of the water out of the spinach as you can before we start putting the rest of the ingredients in.
Perfect.
So that's what we'll do.
Okay, let's do that first.
Okay. And as you can see, here's the spinach. So all I do, because it's thawed, and so you put it in a colander with some holes, and I just kind of press it down to get as much juice out of it as I can. So that's all you really do until you get as much of the water out. Because I think if you have too much water, then it will get the dough will get soggy.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The few times I've used spinach and I've cooked it or I've had to let it soften. Like I usually just put mine in hot water and let it sit there. I don't actually boil it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just let it sit there and it wilts.
Okay. So, I've never thought of that. I've always boil it something.
No, I just let it sit.
Okay.
All right. So we put the spinach into the bowl. We've added 1 cup of feta, salt and pepper.
Right.
We've added
fresh garlic.
And what else did we add?
The green onions.
Right. We added some green onions. We added 3 of them. And then we've also added 4 eggs.
Yep.
And just mixed it all together.
Yep. And this
Yep.
is what it's going to look like.
I'm so disappointed. I lost all the footage that I had recorded of putting all the ingredients in the bowl and our conversation around it. Unfortunately, it's just technical difficulties. So we already mixed up all the spinach. And the spinach we used was
just frozen spinach.
Yes.
So, which is fine. Like, I think we discussed this, that you could use fresh if you wanted
to,
right?
Absolutely. You could use fresh, frozen, already chopped, still whole leaf if you want. This was just easier for us to do right now. And then the feta was just I got traditional feta that was sitting in the brine. It wasn't already crumbly. I did that up beforehand just so that I was kind of ready. Yeah. So now we are going to make these into triangles.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. Start with this super fine phyllo, which is kind of like tissue paper.
That's right. And I'm just going to take we're using avocado oil. You can use butter, olive oil, whatever you like. And we just kind of brush it lightly between the layers. And for the triangles, you're only using 2 layers.
Yes, that's right. So it's because of the way we're going to fold them, it's going to be a lot more layers on it.
Okay, that should be good.
All right. Next piece. Ooh, I kind of like dragged it across.
That's okay.
Good enough. Okay.
You think they're delicate, which they are, but
they're not ripping as easily as I expect them to.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of rough with stuff like this. I'm not delicate.
Which is fine. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to cut them into strips of 4.
That's right.
Strips of 4. Using a pizza cutter for this.
But you can also use a knife.
You can. But a pizza cutter is like way easier.
Way easier, that's right.
And it's not very even, but...
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So now we need do you have a spoon there?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
We're putting, about a tablespoon?
Yeah, something like that, I think.
Tablespoon in.
I'm going to put this here. We're going to put those on here.
So we're just folding them into a triangle shape is what we're doing. I'll show you a close-up of it so that you have it and you can see how we folded it into this tiny little shape.
So then I always put a little bit of olive oil or butter, whatever you want on it.
Yeah, just to help brown it a little.
Brown it a bit.
All right, so here's the close-up of how to make the triangles. So you start with a strip of your phyllo paper, then you add about a tablespoon of your filling. You're going to fold it over diagonally to make a triangle shape. Then you're going to fold it up and then over diagonally again, and then up, and just keep repeating until you reach the end of your phyllo paper. Then you'll have your nice little triangle, and you'll be ready to put a little bit of oil or butter on it and put it on your pan. So we have 2 more of these, and then we'll do the pinwheel.
Pinwheel sounds good. Yep.
Okay. So Anita had been a realtor for a couple of years. Well, because we worked together for one.
Yes.
But also when I had got out of it, I had been out for quite a while before we sold our house. So we sold our house back in
I think it was 2019.
Yes.
That's what I think it was.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
And you had sold it for us.
That's right. So the market was just kind of shifting at that point because Natalka and Ash sold their house within a day or 2.
It was like 24 hours.
24 hours. It was starting to become more of a seller's market at that point, even before the pandemic hit.
Yeah, it was fast.
Yeah, it was fast and stuff.
So Anita's with Keller Williams, and I must admit, I was with them for a while.
Yep.
And I absolutely love them, and I'm glad that you stuck with it and stayed, because it's great for us. You sold our house. When we moved back here, then you helped us move into our new home.
Yeah.
So it was trying though. Like, how did you find it through COVID?
Well, through COVID, everybody was trying to shift and figure out how this was all going to work. But then because of the way Nova Scotia was presented through COVID, that basically was a safe place to be and everything, people got to know Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
So they started coming this way.
Oh, yes. And
So-
that's when everything started going crazy.
So then everything started going crazy. The market with people coming to buy from other provinces
Yes.
brought up the prices of our homes. And it was a crazy market. It was basically a seller's market.
Yeah.
And so I think when Natalka and Ash were coming back, they were very surprised of what the prices of the homes would be and what you get for your dollar now.
And it was frustrating. Like, we had been watching it. We've been in Whidbey Island for 4 years. We kept tabs on Nova Scotia. We really watched it. And
Yes.
we wanted to make sure we knew what we were going to be getting into when we moved back. We knew we were always coming back. It was only a 4-year posting for Ash and I. So we kept tabs. We watched the market. We watched everything that was going on. And when the time came, poor Anita had such a hard time with us. Not only was it, coming out of COVID, but it's a crazy market in general.
Still a crazy market here, yeah.
And we did everything virtually from across the country with a 4-hour time difference.
Yes.
So that was a little frustrating on, I'm sure, both ends, for you and for us.
Well, it was hard because you're trying to make sure whatever we're looking at is something that doing virtually. So when they come into the province and they're closing on their home, they're going, oh my God, what did we buy? But anyways, it's worked out.
Yes.
But there are steps involved in getting to that point. Natalka and Ash were very smart. They went to their mortgage broker. They talked to them, let them know they were moving, found out exactly what the price points were to purchase a home and what that interest rate would be and what the mortgage payments would be. Because in the market we're in, unless you have a pre-approval for a mortgage, you might as well not even be writing an offer, because any of my listings that I do at this point, I ask for a letter of pre-approval. So I am as confident as can be that it will not fall through on the financing.
Yes. And that's an important step. We knew that because, again, I had worked real estate. So
I think we need more though if we're going to do the circle thing, I think.
You think? Or are we doing one and then roll it, connect the next one? It makes a pinwheel. Oh, yeah.
Okay. You
pinwheel.
You have a vision?
I have a vision.
Okay. Let's see how this goes.
Okay. Like that.
Oh, cool.
So what I'm thinking is we just kind of shape it into a circle, into like a pinwheel.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it's breaking. That means it's too dry.
Well,
it's drying out. This isn't damp enough.
But see, I would have probably have done another layer of the dough just to make it a little hardier.
Okay.
But that's just, I don't know.
What do we have left?
I think it'll be fine, Natalka. What do we have left? How many do we have?
3.
Okay, why don't we just do one more with 3 then?
Okay.
And see how that turns out.
All right. So we have been baking these for about 30 minutes.
At 375.
At 375. And this is how they look coming out of the oven. So yes, mortgage broker, what we were saying, it's just better to be pre-approved.
Yes, definitely.
Then you're ready, especially in this market where everything is so difficult and moving across the country.
Yes.
We found that we were putting in 2 offers a week and being rejected 2 offers a week, which without our pre-approval would have been even higher because we at least had the financing in place.
That's right. And those offers you put in were letters of pre-approval that we always submitted with all our offers, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's, it's beneficial. And I know from experience too, being a real estate agent, that you need somebody who knows the market, who can help you through all of those steps. And even though I was in it, I have been out of it for so long that having you walk me through all the steps again, and Ash as well, was so helpful. Like we needed that.
Yeah, you need that. You definitely need that guidance because there's things you run into that are unexpected,
Yes.
or things that sometimes you can't see virtually with the person being there on the ground can see some things. Like for me, it's always important to see where all the registers are in a home, because if you don't have a register in the bathroom, well, you're going to freeze because you're getting no heat in there.
Exactly.
There was odd things that we'd find in houses that you wouldn't see virtually,
or just things that you don't think of. That having somebody from an outside perspective who knows the business to say, hey, look for this, look for that. Do you notice that smell? Do you notice this? It's useful. It's very helpful. And we were lucky, though, because we worked together and because we've been friends for so long. We had that trust that we knew you could go and look at a house and be like, you guys are not going to like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is extremely important.
Yeah.
I mean, finding somebody that you trust that much to do that for you, that's probably the number one reason to go with a real estate agent.
And I think with agents, I mean, there's some agents out there, but there's some agents that haven't dealt with buyers from out of province, where I've basically sold other out of province clientele into our market. So there is a process to it, and it is time consuming, but in the end, it's worth it if you go with somebody who you feel comfortable with.
Absolutely.
And who's very familiar with the markets and the ups and downs. So,
yeah. Which you definitely do, because you've been in the business for like 15 years.
Yeah. And you're always learning something along the way. Yeah. So, Metallica and Ash, they did put an offer in a house that was accepted. They thought they were closing on this house. We all thought they were closing on this house. They had an appraisal on the property. Their bank asked for an appraisal because they put 20% down, and usually that will trigger an appraisal. The appraisal came in lower than their offer price by quite a bit. In order to meet that, you have to, if it comes in lower, then you have to compensate for that on the back end to make up the difference. And it was quite excessive. So we could not close on that home.
No, and the sellers did not want to work with us to make that all happen, it was disappointing. Yes. But I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, no, we're moving on, because there's probably 10 other offers right behind it, especially in this market, as you know. Yeah. So understandable. Right. Which in the end is probably better anyway.
Yes, because I think this home compared to the other home just has a little bit more to it.
It does. It's a lot bigger than what we had
originally offered on the other home and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. A bigger piece of property. I like the location better and everything. So it worked out in the end.
It did.
But we had to make compromises.
That's right. So what I also did is I kept my eye on the property that we had to walk away from, and found out from the agent on that property that there was another offer, which is exactly the same offer that Metallica and Ash had put in. They had an appraisal done on the property, and the property came back fine on appraisal.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit disheartening. So sometimes you think you have everything in place, but sometimes for other reasons it falls through. Yeah. That was a learning curve for me on that one.
It doesn't always work out. You might think you have everything perfectly planned and ready and everything that you need, and one small thing can throw it
right into.
Yeah. But in the end, I mean, it worked out better anyway, so it's probably good that it fell apart. Otherwise, we wouldn't have found this home. So.
Yes.
And this one, I mean, we love it. A lot about it. We're currently renovating. But we had to make compromises because of the market, for one, not being able to get everything that we want or in the price range. My compromise is my kitchen. Unfortunately, that is, how I make all my videos.
Yes.
But eventually we are going to redesign the kitchen. So my compromise was that my husband got his gigantic barn that he wanted.
Yes, it's a lovely barn, beautiful red barn.
Absolutely. Like we do love the barn. I love the property, the location, and the yard space for Max. So
yeah, it's a beautiful yard for the dog, for sure. And it is, I mean, it's a little bit outside of the city. It's on the South Shore. It's in Chester Basin. But it's very close to Mahone Bay, close to Lunenburg.
Exactly.
Got a lot of beaches in there.
There's so many places to explore here.
Yeah.
And I know some of you know, some of you don't, but Max and I do a lot of adventures and we go a lot of places and we're very active on our Instagrams that now we have more places and more things to see and do. So we're looking forward to being home and seeing what has changed.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So if you're thinking of coming to Nova Scotia, absolutely. There's so many things for you guys to see and do and explore. And if you want to move here, my friend Anita here will help you.
I'm glad we help you through the process and stuff. Like I say, try to make it as stress-free as possible, but sometimes that's not what happens, right? With Natalia and Ash on this one too, regarding their mortgage approval. Their mortgage approval was down to the date of closing. So if we didn't close on that date, they would have to go back for another approval, an application, which would raise their interest rate substantially, which would increase the mortgage payments and what they could afford to buy. So in the end,
again, it worked
down to the wire.
This was so close. I think we closed 4 days.
I don't even know.
Before our mortgage rate expired. So it was stressful.
Yeah, it was stressful.
It was stressful.
Yeah.
And to top it off, I couldn't do any cooking. I couldn't do any baking to relieve any of that stress. So it was just stress.
But here we are today.
Yeah. So we should try them. Do you normally dip them in anything?
You could dip them in something. My thought was if you made what they have, a tzatziki.
Oh, tzatziki. Yeah.
Which would be something nice to dip them in. Or you could just have them on their own.
Okay.
Or I'm thinking, I don't know what they would be like with the plum sauce.
I was thinking sour cream. I'm more to tzatziki.
Yeah.
But that's because I like sour cream and I eat it on almost everything.
Oh, well, there you go. Whatever you like, you can try it with.
Okay. So let's give them a try.
Okay.
Let me get sour cream and
sounds good. Okay, I'm going to try this one without anything.
I will try it without anything as well. I just need to try it with sour cream too.
Very flaky.
Is it? Okay. Which one?
Look.
Oh,
you could see. These are the first ones we tried.
Yes.
Not quite as nice as at the end.
Yeah, they started out really big, but then we figured out how to make them much more appetizer size. Yeah, they were really flaky.
They are. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah? Okay. Those are really good. I feel like they put in a little bit more of the garlic in it.
Yeah,
you would really bring that flavor out.
Flavor up, yep.
Even just a hint of lemon.
Yep,
just
to do that for next time.
Squeeze of lemon in just to bring the flavors together.
Yep, But I think too, if you like tzatziki, because that you get you get more garlic in the tzatziki, you got cucumber, you put dill in tzatziki. So I think it depends on if you would want to dip it with something.
All right, I'm going to try it with just sour cream.
I'm trying to think of what they do at the restaurant when you order. Because you can order the Spanakopita, right?
Yes. And I don't think I've ever actually ordered it. I've only ever had it from Costco.
Oh, okay. What's it like with the sour cream?
It adds. So the sour cream I got was restaurant style.
Right.
So it's a little thicker and it's a little has a little zing to it.
Okay. I'll let me give it a try.
I think it goes well with it.
Okay.
It adds just a little bit more flavor.
Okay.
It enhances it. Put it that way. It enhances it. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it just needed a little something. And I like that. That adds just enough flavor and zing to it. But these are delicious.
They're good.
This was a good recipe. I like it.
And it wasn't really that hard.
No,
Right?
not at all. Oh, I love Max.
Oh, Max says, what about me? I think I would like these too.
I'm sure you would like some too, but you're not going to have any. Yeah, I like this recipe, so I'm glad you brought this one over and tried
now. The
now.
holiday season.
Now we just have to wait for this one to be done.
Okay.
See how it turns out. This is for holiday season or for appetizers, even just for company coming over. These are beautiful.
Yeah. Like I say, you can make this recipe that I have here, makes it in a 9 by 12 pan. So you just layer it. I think it says 5 to 6 sheets of phyllo on top of the spinach, and you do kind of roast a little bit.
Okay.
And then bake it and cut it up and serve it.
And there was a lot in this. Like in this box, I'm kind of surprised because where I've never worked with this before, I've only ever used puff pastry for anything. The puff pastry, there's only 2 pastries in it. Each one is like thick. It's similar to pie crust, you know, but there's only 2 rolls in it. Where this, I did not expect it to be like tissue paper. And there was like 12 sheets in it?
Or something like that. Yeah. So it made all of this.
And then what we have in the oven that we just rolled and everything.
So if you continue to make this, we probably would have got another sheet for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's quite a few appetizers. And I mean, these turned out too big.
Yeah, we would have had a few more.
We cut it into 4s. And this is what we got. And that's perfect, I think.
Yeah, I think they're a great size.
Or even if you want to make them smaller, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
You could. It would just be like a teaspoon maybe in each one instead of a tablespoon. And it would make it more quick bite size.
Right, yeah. Very good.
Yeah, great recipe. Thank you for bringing it.
Oh, you're so welcome. It was a lot of fun. I look forward. We might have to do this again.
I know. I kind of like having company.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. And
cooking with me.
I mean, just talking things through and experimenting. And
yeah. And being able to actually share it with somebody. Because I have done it before where like Nancy and I had made a video, but it was very instructional. Like we just stood here and you saw our hands doing things. Right. We didn't really talk through it. And then same with Genevieve. Her and I had made a Christmas vlog or Bush de Noel, and we kind of did the same thing. It was more instructional. We didn't get to like chit chat.
It's nice to chit chat.
So we're trying this new thing. Nita's helping me with this, is to see how this kind of a video goes.
So we'd like your feedback on it, what your thoughts are, maybe how we can maybe do it differently, what you would like to see more or hear more from us or from the
absolutely. Like I thought this would be a good experiment to see if I have somebody with me, maybe once a month, and talk about local things or upcoming holidays. We can discuss recipes, you know, whatever the conversation is, just to see how having somebody else with me kind of works out, you know, as maybe a second video. You know, I have one that comes out every Saturday that is straight up recipe.
Right.
But then to make another video where it's a little bit more interactive.
No, I had a good time. It was great fun.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this. And now we get to sit here and eat this.
That's right. That's the best part. I was just going to say the best part is we get to eat it now.
After more, thank goodness, it's good. Yeah. This is great.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to whatever we decide to try and do next. So I think that's it. We're just waiting for the rest to come out, which, I mean,
we can show, we'll post pictures and see how that turns out for us. That was just a quick idea of doing it that way.
Yep. And that was kind of like a second thought of, let's try something else. Yeah. So hopefully this video works out well. If you're looking for a realtor, contact Anita. Yeah.
Contact me.
Yeah.
And
you have your website, you have Instagram as well. And I'll post all her links in the description and on the video as well. I'll put her Instagram name and stuff on there. And go find Anita if you need somebody to help you buy or sell a house here in Nova Scotia. Well, HRM Halifax area.
Yeah, right. Because we're a little bit outside of the HRM, but I'm very familiar with the South Shore. So
Yeah. So definitely look her up, okay? For me, that's it.
that's it for me. I just want to say Merry Christmas. If I don't reach out to you or see you till the new year, safe travels out there and Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. Remember to hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell. And remember, the next couple videos are all going to be holiday related. So get ready for all sorts of ugly Christmas t-shirts. See you guys later.